Hey guys, Bix Weir, road2ruler.com. We are chatting with Will Lehr from Unbound Assets, from Club Cocal, you name it, he's doing it down there in El Salvador. Will, what is up, buddy?
What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Greetings from the beach.
Yeah, I have a fake beach.
Looks pretty nice.
It does look nice, and I'm overdue for a vacation, but uh we got a wedding coming up. Paige and Josh are getting married, which is really exciting. And we've spent a lot of time, you and I and them. So it's exciting times here in the Weir family household.
Very exciting. You guys are bringing me back to California. It's a
It's
rare
been a
thing.
while. How long?
I've only been back once since COVID. That was to go to your house. Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, and you,
We
how long
we
did you?
flew right into Oakland, which was scary enough.
Uh-huh.
And then Vix and Amy, we jumped in the car and we got out of there as fast as we could to safe grounds.
Safer
But
grounds. That's where I
this
live.
time I'm not sure where I'm flying into. Hopefully I'm going into like the John Wayne Airport or something in Long Beach, just like
Yeah.
mellow. That's
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you. Lots going on in the crypto world, lots going on in the freedom world, lots going on in the silver world. Let's start with silver. Let me pull up a chart here that I've been playing with lately, and I'm not a chartist, but this one just jumps out at me. This is the 1 year um, flag. That's what they call it, a flag, right? I think that's what they call it.
Yep.
As you can see, it just broke above the flag top side, but the most interesting thing to me is if you run at the bottom of the flag here, this is for 1 year, right here, look at the date, September 11th, 2026. I mean, it's as if they're doing it on purpose, right? It's kind of like, what is real and what is not these days? What is, I mean, I look at our politicians, I don't even know which one's real, which one's not. Hollywood people, you don't know who's real, who's not. The price of anything, you don't know what's real, what's not. I mean, I think, yeah, if you have real silver, if you're holding it in your hand.
Facts.
That's my latest take on where's the safest place to be. I think cryptos are safe for after the crash. And I think that's, if you're thinking about, okay, after the fiat money dies, which is, I'm pretty sure it's coming. And, you know, everybody and their mother has said this is unsustainable and we're going to war every which way. I don't know. What's your take on what's going on right now, Will?
Well, for me it's been, I don't know, 15 years, right? That I've been on this road. Vix has been on it much longer, probably almost 30 now.
At 20,
And
26, 27, yeah.
yeah, and here we are. We're still under the US dollar based hegemony dollar system.
Mhm.
Silver's still, granted, we're over $50. I never thought that would happen without insane fireworks, to be honest. I thought that once we broke 50, we'd be at new highs and it would be all chaos. But it's funny that run up from $50 silver or $60 silver up to 100 and whatever felt exactly like that May 2012 or whatever it was when they ran it from 25 or 30 up to 50. It was up a
Mhm.
dollar a day. Like it was just like what, none of it made sense. And it was just this build up in order to then rug it. And I saw it this last time with wholesale and physical premiums
Yeah,
because the physical market did not warrant those prices.
yeah.
We were trying to sell silver for clients at 100 $110 silver, and the premiums were $20 under spot in some cases. The best we were able to get on 100-ounce bars was something like 10 under. So Eagles were probably a little closer to spot, but still under. Um, so yeah, I think the safe. What's safe? Yeah, I mean you can't print physical silver. You can manipulate the paper price of it, which is what we're seeing, but that will come to an end at some point, and the jig will be up, and I think the holders will make the rules at that point. Um, it's funny. We were just talking about that last night with a group of friends here, and El Salvador is like this mecca, this hot spot for like-minded people like us. It's why I set up shop down here 3.5 years ago because they made Bitcoin legal tender years ago, and I just knew this is going to attract all of our people. And so last night we're having a chat. There's 6 or 8 people sitting over there right now, friends, clients, some team members. We're talking about this exact subject that what is even real anymore? Like COVID. We were talking about COVID and all of the weirdness that happened in those several years. And it's like, but you come down here and all of that really fades away. So I think your assets are safe, in the right assets, silver, I think Bitcoin, the right cryptos, that'll be infrastructure for the new economy that aren't money like Bitcoin. Um, Here Bitcoin is huge because it was made legal tender. There's a whole economy of merchants. So as a libertarian or a Bitcoiner or an alternative asset stacker, you want to own some Bitcoin down here. It just makes sense. You got your credit card, your cash, or your Bitcoin. There's basically three payment methods down here. Um, so I think your assets are safe in those alternative spaces. I think real estate here, I mean, it just literally keeps ticking up in the last few years while I've been watching Bitcoin and silver do this and that and this and that. I mean, this stuff just literally. So, and I think the land here is there's freedom inherent in the land. So for investors, so I think El Salvador real estate, uh, silver, Bitcoin, the right cryptos, and then here you not only the financial investment, protecting your some of your wealth, but it's also it's a plan B. You
Right.
know, this place is very rich with fresh mountain spring water everywhere. I have a well here at the beach. There's fruits. You can sustain here very easily,
Mhm.
right? And there's a lot of like-minded people flooding this place and building organic farms and retreat centers and beautiful little 10 lot communities with 1 2 acre big lots. You can pick your neighbors. There's all kinds of cool stuff happening. So I think as important as securing your financial resources, it's all the other resources in your life, and finding the right place to be, to hang your hat, to put some of your assets is as important, as the Western world continues to go loco.
Yeah. I think when you're listing off the list of things that you think are good assets right now, when you say silver and obviously that includes gold if you're in the gold world, cryptos and cash and real estate, those are all assets that are in your own possession. Those are all, or could be in your own possession. Most of the time they are. And they're assets that have no third party, that aren't contingent upon JP Morgan staying in business. They're not contingent upon your bank being around. These are all assets that you that they don't give a shit about what happens in the rest of the world. If we do have a meltdown of the fiat system, which I believe is coming very fast, in 2008, on September 11th, 2008, we were hours away, hours away from all markets shutting down. And Senator Ken Jaworski told us this. They came to him and said, "We have to open up the discount window, or everything is gone.
Tanks in
Everything
the
is gone."
streets, I believe they said, right? That was
Yeah,
Paulson that said that. There will
yeah.
be tanks in the streets if we
Tanks
don't
in the
approve this
streets,
bailout.
exactly. But there won't even be tanks in the street because you can't pay your military. It's there's many things to analyze and think about, and we've been planning for this for so long. I mean, I've been planning for this for so long. Some of my dry food went bad.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
It's crazy. I mean,
yeah.
it had a 20-year shelf life, and I got it for Y2K, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit! Even this has been going on so long. Even the dried food has gone bad. Well, it didn't really go bad. It just expired. And I'm like, well, why risk it? I'll dump the old stuff and get some new stuff for the next 20 years. I don't think it'll take 20 years, but the reality of where we are, everywhere you see it, you see Scott Bassett, who was the number one guy for George Soros, is now the Treasury Secretary of the United States, talking about gold, talking about you know who came out just recently? Um, I forgot his name. Who's our vice president?
Oh, oh God, why would you do that to me? I'm speaking
I
Spanish too
know.
much. It's uh.
Vance, JD Vance.
Thank you,
JD
Vance.
Vance came out and was talking about the of how fiat money is going to go away. And I'm like, what? Everybody knows it's about to happen. And that's it.
Well, they
Because,
the strategic minerals reserve that they
yeah,
just did recently, right?
resources. Yeah.
And it's the whole thing's about silver. I mean, they're
Oh,
talking
absolutely.
about, yeah,
Yeah. And it's, I mean, the reality of, I've been looking a lot at, okay, at the end game, there's a few things we're going to know. We know that they're going to do everything till the last day they can to control the price of silver because that opens the veil on the entire financial system. Silver has been rigged, price suppressed for 170 years for a very specific reason. It's to make sure that fiat money functions properly, and
sustains, yeah.
it's the alternative of fiat money. And it also enabled the world to go on to an electronic system. It enabled the world to go on to industrial systems. Without control of the price of silver, we would not be talking on these devices. We would not, because it would have gone so much slower with $5,000 silver instead of $5 silver. And, we've been riding this thing for a very long time where silver is undervalued by many multiples of where it is. So when it does express its true fair market value, it will overshoot, obviously, because you hold a beach ball underwater for 170 years, and if it still has air in it, let it go. It's gonna skyrocket. But the reality of our lives will change. We're not going to be trading in getting a new flat screen TV every couple of years. We're going to hang on to the one we have because there's $1,000 worth of silver in it. Same with all the disposable stuff that we have that require electronics. Silver is going to be expensive, and so you're not going to have solar panels. It's just not an efficient way to use silver. They will invent ways to create solar power with the type of technology that doesn't use much silver at all. It is not happening yet. And I've done a lot of research into, because people said, oh, yeah, there's this new technology. Well, there's new technologies, but from the laboratory to the mass production is 10 to 15 years. And the reality of substituting copper for silver that cuts the lifespan maybe even into three-fourths of what it was. So
Mm-hmm.
they talk about it, but there's no big manufacturing lines that are making any really big changes, like the Silver Institute says they are.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we're getting into a
I would
point
think
where,
China would be, they're so big on silver and they're so big on solar. I would think
oh
they
yeah,
would be light years ahead of these new technologies, right?
and they are, and
As
they are,
it pertains to PV, to the actual use of the panels using so much daggum silver.
yeah, and they I think they produce 90% of the photovoltaics. Um,
Yeah, the stuff we get here in El Salvador, because we've some of our properties are, we got cabins that are off grid. You will have electric there eventually, right? But
yeah,
it's cool. You've got the so yeah, all the solar stuff comes from China.
yeah, and there was a glut. China was putting in over half of the installed production every year. I mean, it was so huge, and the Silver Institute was lying. They were using over 500,000,000 ounces every year, but Silver Institute's saying it's 150, 200 million ounces, which is it's ridiculous on the way up because people don't really understand what's disappearing, but on the way down because it has slowed the trajectory. I think they're going to put in 650 uh, gigawatts this year. I mean, and that's obviously massively up over the last 10 years. It was like doubling and tripling and all that. But the amount of silver used was not, according to the Silver Institute. So I think a lot of that's gone now. And so as it goes down, the amount of solar panels installed, it's not really going to make that big effect on the supply and demand because they never recognized. Now, if it was, if the Silver Institute said 500 million ounces were used in solar last year, and then it's dropping 20%, that would be a hit on the data, but it's not because they're only at 150 million. They've been lying so long. Now they don't have the juice of saying, "Oh, it's going down, so we're using less silver." Well, it's fine. You didn't tell us what we're using before, and now it doesn't matter. So I think solar will pick up again until we get some release of a new type of technology for creating energy, which I think is after the crash. I think
Mhm.
all those new technologies, and there's so many of them. There's magnetic. There's the fusion is the latest one that the Trump administration is talking about. Uh, why did Trump text that the other day? He sent out a post saying this is the future is cold fusion, and everyone's like, "What? Where did that come from?"
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, investing a whole lot in solar or any of the, it's like we know that there are incredible uh, technologies out there that we
Yeah.
haven't seen, that haven't been released, that involve energy, very likely abundant, limitless, free energy.
Hmm.
That for the protection of trillion-dollar industries can't be released. So
Yeah. You look at the widespread adoption of electric cars. They are everywhere now, and they continue to grow at a much higher pace than traditional internal combustion engines. China has the largest car manufacturing company in the world, electric cars. They overtook Elon last year, I think it was. Tesla's still growing in leaps and bounds. Tesla's coming out with a, did you hear? The Flying Roadster is the next release.
yep,
It should be any day now, I think, that they're doing the official demo.
yeah,
Um, they're not quite sure if it's going to work, apparently. But like everything, it's like, Elon jumps in, and then after a while, things, he's just so far ahead of everything that he kind of manifests things to happen. And the self-driving stuff, there's self-driving cars everywhere now. Just in
yeah,
Nashville, and those Waymo cars are everywhere. I don't think that the world's ready for that technology, but apparently there's one way to get things introduced, and you throw them out there and see how well they do, which
yeah.
is kind of
Well,
scary.
I mean, here the big conversation is the drone taxis, because El Salvador's the land, there's volcanoes crammed in. Like you're never actually going a very far distance, but to drive there is crazy.
Yep.
So it'll be huge here, and there's a lot of private capital. Like it, Grant Cardone, I think, just bought one of the first, or if not the first one, private drone taxi, and he's taking a week long, training course on how to pilot it, and then have a personal drone taxi. So yeah, I think Jetsons, we're close. We're real close to
Yeah.
Jetsons days.
I'm looking forward to it, although I hate heights, but I don't mind a hovercraft type of stuff. And I think
Yeah,
everything is kind of on hold until, and has been on hold for hundreds of years, until we can release ourselves from these controllers that have controlled our lives for so long. Now it's through fiat money, but there's been different ways they can control us through wars and all kinds of uh,
oh yeah.
turmoil. Um,
Food and electronics
oh
and
yeah,
yeah,
definitely. You guys got to grow as much of your own food as possible. I know it's a pain, and my biggest problem is because I took it to heart. I got like 20 pretty big vegetable beds in my backyard that I grow a whole bunch of stuff. And like right now, it's just crazy abundant. Um, I gotta learn to pickle better. I gotta learn
yeah,
storage and dried food. Although my pickles are awesome, by the way. Right now, it's I got Bobby Flay's recipe for pickles, and I'm like, this is the cold brining pickles. So they only last for like a month or two, but they're so good. And cucumbers are pretty easy to grow. So we have literally piles of vegetables. I've been freezing my tomatoes because we have so many tomatoes for like for spaghetti sauce and all that. Gravy, as my Italian friends call it. But
yeah. I mean,
literally,
if you've got the freezer space, and
yeah,
then the energy backup, whether that's solar or whether that's a
yeah,
generator, dude, you fill a freezer with beef, the most nutrient dense food on the planet,
mhm,
and you don't need a garden. I mean, obviously, for sustained years and years of sustenance you do, but you got
Yeah,
100 pounds of beef in a deep freezer with energy backup,
you're good for a
you'll be
while.
fine. Yeah, that's another commodity, man.
Yeah.
Cattle,
Oh yeah.
another place
And
to put your money.
and you got to remember, a lot of this stuff will be great barter type of stuff because when the old system fails, everything's going to be different. I mean, it's what they said in the Road to Ruta documents and the teacher's guide. It's like after the colored flowers were introduced, everything changed. And then it talks about, well, what kind of changes should we expect? Like if we do have the crash of fiat, and okay, what is every country going to decide for themselves what kind of currency they're going to use? What currencies are global? I mean, obviously, Bitcoin's a global currency.
Yep.
Gold and silver are global. Um, will the U.S. go back to gold and silver? I think so because we don't have to vote on it. We don't need Congress to say, "Hey, it's in our Constitution." And our problem has been we've strayed away from the Constitution.
Yeah.
And it's not, the I keep going back to the Economist magazine that most people have seen get ready for a new world currency. Do you
Hmm.
remember that one? Let
Hmm.
me let me show you
With the
guys
phoenix on it. Yeah.
the Phoenix on it, and it's because it's so important to understand what this is saying because people read it and say, "Oh, that's one world government, Bix." And I'm like, "No, that's not one world government." Read what they say. There it is. Get ready for a world currency, not a one world government. Well, gold is already a world currency, if you ask me. And what woke me up last night, and it has been waking me up, is the zero with the slash through it.
Mm.
If you look at the coin, this has come up in my research into the Grand Canyon, into the gold. There's gold bars with the zero and the slash. It's a pierced zero. It's not null set. A lot of people think it's no, that's the computer, how a computer recognizes a zero versus an O because they put a slash over it.
But it's
This
not
is a
over.
piercing slash.
Through the middle, you can see where
Yes,
the line goes over the
exactly.
top of one ring and it goes under the bottom of the other ring, literally through the surface.
Yes, and there's all kinds of things kind of hidden in this, and The Economist is famous for doing this on their covers and inside in their calendar and things like that. But I've been diving into it more recently. That's not a phoenix. It says phoenix, although the X is a Roman numeral 10. If you look at it, it's
Wow.
and then if you add 10 to the 2018, that looks kind of like a 2016. If you like, because they screwed up the eight. It's like, why would you screw up the eight? Why not just
Mm-hmm.
add the 10 to the 16 and you got 2026? But it's not a phoenix. It's not the flaming red color. It's not on fire. The phoenixes, they burn up and they rise from the ashes. The currency's on fire, but it's not a phoenix. It's an eagle. And people aren't getting the symbolism of the eagle in the Grand Canyon. That's where the bald eagles live, the United States of America. If we do have massive amounts of gold, and I do have pictures I can show you of gold bars that was talking about a $300 million gold loan back in 1933 between the U.S. and China, and then um, it shows an airplane crashing over the Grand Canyon, right at the spot where Kincaid's cave was and the place of emergence for the Hopi. I mean, it all adds up, and it's kind of like you're getting warmer, you're getting warmer, you're getting warmer. So look at you see that the emblem, the circle with the slash, right?
Yep.
Check out these cipher bars. Can you see that? Hold on. You see that?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Very similar. And look, it's like there's three of the slashed zeros, and then
Circles.
but some are filled. These are gold bars. This is one of the top 10 cryptographic unsolved mysteries. There's 7 or 11 gold bars that they can't decipher. And if I look at it, I'm like, okay, you got you got water below, you got a plane above, you've got those three things, and it looks like some are filled with gold and some are not. The first
Right.
one is half filled, the middle one is if those are gold nuggets, and the other one is empty.
Uh-huh.
And to get ready for the gold, the new world currency,
Hmm.
which is here, it is a gold coin around the neck of an eagle with the slash that's empty. My take, I've seen this so many times, is that they found gold in the Grand Canyon. They shut down the Grand Canyon right before they created the Fed. That's why the Fed was created. And they said, okay, this would have destroyed the global monetary system. Back in the early 1900s, there was only about 300 million ounces of gold that had ever been mined. And they're finding billions and billions of ounces of gold. So they said, all right, we're going to have to. We were on a gold standard officially since 1900. We were on a bimetallic standard since until the crime of what is it? The crime of 1873 or something like that. But it would have destroyed the entire global monetary system had they, and it would have. So they all the rich people who had all the gold, by the way, they had the most to lose, met at Jekyll Island. Edward Griffith got it all right, except one thing: the motivation. Why did they do it? And it
Mhm.
wasn't to gain control, it was to save their asses because all their wealth was in gold. And if you add 100 times more gold than is out there already, you got an issue, you got a problem. Let's create a Federal Reserve to control the currencies. And we're at that end of that road, I think. And that's why
And now the currency creation in the last 100 years or whatever
oh my God,
has caught up with that amount of gold supply that's
way
sitting in the Grand
past,
Canyon.
way
By,
past.
by,
We're at
by,
infinity.
like
Yeah.
they probably just during COVID 10x'd it, right?
Well,
Or more.
it's interesting because when Elon went in there with the Doge guys, he came out and said, "Oh my God, there's 13 computers that are printing money, but
Uh-huh.
there's no
That aren't tied to the
authorization,
treasury.
there's no bank account behind it. They're just printing checks." Now, how many trillions did they print, or quadrillions, or who
Who
knows?
knows?
And then now that every other country in the world knows what we're doing, why aren't they doing the same thing? Of course they are. It's a trust-based system. Is the crazy thing. The
Race to
United
the bottom.
States, yeah, the United States can take down any country we want with our computers and foreign exchange derivatives. Click a mouse, goodbye any country you want. Goodbye currency. And that's when the wars start and bombs start flying. And hopefully we can avoid that. But I don't know if we can.
Well, it's crazy to talk about this, envision this post dollar economy and world and be in El Salvador. I guess before the Lightning Network, Bitcoin could not be used as legal tender. It was expensive and very, very slow.
But you could
Um,
use other cryptos.
sure, right. But now with the Lightning Network, here in El Salvador, it's like it's already all there. The Bukele is such a freaking genius because he literally got the infrastructure in everyone's hand like overnight by telling all of the people in the country, okay, if you download this wallet on your phone, you get $20 free, $20 worth of Bitcoin for free. So yeah, everybody downloaded the wallet, got the $20 and spent it immediately. But what did that leave behind? That left the app on everyone's phone, that left the infrastructure, and that left the knowledge in all of these people's minds and fingers on how to bleep receive
Yep.
and bleep send. So
There's a,
it's all
there's
there.
it's all there and that is, I mean, if you look at, okay, I'm going to stretch it a little bit here. El Salvador and all the countries that are kind of coming up from the olden days trying to catch up to everybody else with infrastructure, with roads and bridges and telecommunications. We had to put wires up everywhere. Every country in the Western world put wires up everywhere to basically, we can have telephone wires everywhere. And then they came out with wireless. So El Salvador can just skip a lot of the wires and it's wireless now. And that's an amazing thing. And a lot of the countries don't have to go through the cost and the pain and the work to get there now that it's wireless. one of the things that the remote viewers, Dick Allgire's gang over there at Future Forecasting Group did, in one of the, I think, the best remote viewing of any crypto they've ever looked at was the Theta remote viewing with Dick Allgire and Hitomi really hitting on something about it being used for universal basic income. Since then, since 2020, 2021, when Theta was seen as a way to share broadband, basically a content delivery network and solution, and it did work, but it has since gone into AI inference solution for the whole world. And you can run a Theta Edge node on a limited basis um, on your mobile
Any
phone.
device, any
It will be
device.
any device. They haven't gone to Apple yet, but you can
And
use it
that's
on.
something you can't do with Bitcoin. When I talk to Bitcoiners and people who are hardcoin about Bitcoin only, and we talk about infrastructure for the future world, you know, you can't operate a Bitcoin node on every single phone and TV and laptop with a click with a simple download
Right,
software update.
right.
Like so, that
But
in
for
and of
T
itself
Fuel,
provides a network that yeah.
yeah. And what it does is what all these hyperscalers are trying to do. They're trying to build this AI network, and you need a lot of the big stuff, but you also need the inference, which is if you ask a question to ChatGPT, it doesn't go to the main computer and say, okay, here's your answer. It uses what's out there. The inference is the little things. The little questions can be done locally on your
All the
cell
data
phone.
points,
All, yeah,
millions of data points that it's
yes. And it sucks them together. And it's an amazing how the Theta Labs people, I think they're getting help from outside sources as well, but um, have invented a way to share broadband, to share processing power, to share storage on your phone, on your laptop, on your Sony TV. And they've partnered with Sony and Samsung and Microsoft and Google and now they're interesting. They're partnering with the telecommunications company. They got the big German company that owns, I think, Verizon or one of those. Um, they're gonna partner with all the massive telecom companies because those companies have even bigger processing power that they has excess capacity all over the world in infrastructure for wireless communications. So they have the big types of stuff they're building massive facilities all around the world for. The telephone companies have that. The wireless companies have that in place already with excess capacity. And it just amazes me that the remote viewing guys, I just saw internet connection in trouble. Are you there still? Oh yeah,
I'm here.
okay. The remote viewing guys saw Theta being used as universal basic income. And I think when the system falls apart, everybody's going to be looking for, hey, how can I make a buck? I mean, how can I make it enough to live? And if you have a cell phone, you can make some T fuel by running an edge node. Not on Apple yet, but I hear that's coming soon. Um, and so they've been building this infrastructure that is like perfect for the times of chaos that we're coming into. Whether or not people recognize it before, during, or after, I don't know. But it'll be really interesting to see that it's kind of a leapfrog, just like the cell phones over in countries that don't have any wires. And this,
Yep.
what Dick saw and what Hitomi saw was this mainly being used amazingly in Africa that didn't have the infrastructure. But if you share all your extra broadband and all your extra processing power and your storage through this system, you don't have to build it out. It's already there. It's just not being used. And that's the amazing thing I think about. I think it's why Theta jumped out so much for like Michelle White Dove and all the psychics like, holy shit, it's Theta when they looked at the cryptos. And now I can see why. I didn't really see why back when it was just for the CDN. I thought, oh, wow, a use case. This would be a global use case with the patents in place, with the partners that can download it. It's a software download. It could all at once download a Theta Edge node on every device on the planet that can run it, and all of a sudden you have a massively fully built out system. Obviously it won't be that smooth because they're, you know, the ability to scale from 30,000 nodes that they have now to say 2 billion nodes. You can download it overnight, but will it function in the same way? I have no idea.
Another interesting thing about Africa is, if you're running a node on your phone and maybe what is it, generating a few dollars a month, I don't know, a small amount of money to most people in the world,
Right.
but
But
not in
it depends
Africa.
on the price of T fuel, though.
Absolutely, absolutely. But having lived a lot of my life in the U.S., now having lived some of my life in El Salvador, where you know people make $15 to $20 a day, a lot of people. And in Africa, it's a multiple even lower than that,
Yep.
much lower. So a phone generating a few bucks a month for somebody is potentially, real savings, right?
Oh yeah,
Real
and
income
it
generation.
can pay for your phone, and I mean that's probably where it'll start. It'll take care of your phone bill, so you basically have a free phone.
There you
And
go.
the governments will be saying, "Oh my God, I want to help our people. Let's give them a phone." So
And
that
it boosts the AI network for the
ah
for the country,
huge,
yeah,
and they
and the world.
participate in the economic system.
Yep,
I just got a
yep.
little goosebump on that one. You always know when you get the goosebumps if you're onto something.
Well, the price of theta. It's funny. I had a road to root a friend here last week, and we were talking, and he's like, "Gosh, I should probably buy some more theta." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, we're down to when we all first started stacking
Yeah,
prices, 8 to
yeah.
12 cents. And, then of course it ran to 16, $15.
Well,
And
T fuel's below a penny. I think it's at 0.7 cents, and it was at 60 cents. So that's what, a 100x move
100x. Yeah.
just to get back to where it was. And I think T fuel is much more important now than it was back then.
Not financial advice.
This is not financial advice, and you got to have balls of steel to put any decent kind of money into it, obviously.
Massive. And you've got to
Um,
be crazy enough to like not blame Bix if he's wrong.
yeah,
you know
and
what
then
you're
just hang
you
on to
know
it.
what you're getting
Yeah,
into. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
hang on
yeah,
to
yeah.
it. And the reality of, you know, I would be worried if Theta Labs and the whole all their partnerships and all that weren't doing anything, but they're doing the exact opposite. They're doing
And that
massive
was the
things.
same that we saw during the COVID bear market, right? Where the world was falling apart, but Theta was just cracking out new patents, partnerships with
Oh
universities.
yeah.
I mean, nonstop, dude. They were building.
And I always I go to, okay, I do see a showdown coming with China and Taiwan. Um, if they've been saying they're going to take Taiwan, and they say it's China mainland. This is us. They've been saying it for decades. The reality of when's the best time to do it? The best time to do it is when the U.S. is not really interested in defending Taiwan, which we aren't, and
Got
we
too
can't. I
much
don't think
else
we
on their
can.
plate. Yep.
So I do think that'll happen in the next year or so. Um, I think and then what would happen? It depends on, this is where what 90% of the high-end chips are being made. Obviously, they're starting to build out factories all over the world, but it takes forever to build these things out. Even longer than it takes to build these data centers. Much longer because it's so precise and so. I've been
A
to
lot of
one of these
engineering
chip
here.
manufacturing facilities, and I mean, I had to get in a full like. It was like it. I felt like I was going to space, a kind of suit that nothing could to get out to go into this facility, and I was
Wow.
like fully, fully locked down in some kind of suit. I don't know what it was, um, but the reality, if chips stop moving, I think there is a solution, and it's the edge node.
Mm,
Elon's talking about the edge node every time. He's not talking about the theta edge node, but he said the future is going to be edge nodes. And
yes.
he's going to put edge node on every single car. It's a software
Which
defined.
edge node basically just means a node that's on a simple compute right
Yeah.
device. Like it could be a Tesla freaking something in the car, or it could be on our phone, it could be
Well,
on our
yeah, the Tesla has a big operating system that can handle. do quite a bit um, of the AI work. Edge node, and that's where it gets to okay, who's got the patents? The technology's there, but who's got
Right.
the patents? And that's where Theta comes in, and the partners.
That's why they've been patenting like mad for 5 years or
Oh yeah,
whatever.
oh yeah, and the partnerships are massive, and there's no other uh,
Interesting.
crypto solution. There's a couple other crypto solutions for AI, but nothing like what Theta has. Um, so I'm still all in. I'm like, okay, I'll ride it as far down as I need to go. And at some point, if silver keeps running, I like to try to balance my portfolio as much as I can. But the reality of balancing when cryptos were going crazy was easier to buy a lot of silver. It's harder when you see the cryptos go down so far, like massively, obviously. Um, and then which ones do you pick? And which I look at the Reggie Middleton patent on Veritasium, and I'm like, holy shit, how many people are in violation of Reggie's patent? And
Everyone.
he literally was about to win the $300 million lawsuit against Coinbase because the patent office came back and said, yeah, that's the real patent, and you violated it. Because Coinbase went to the patent office and says, no, this guy's full of shit, and usually the patent office will throw cases out, and no, the patent office says, no, this is legit. So it was a literally a slam dunk case for Reggie going in, and then his lawyer died,
Uh-huh.
and then the case just stopped because that would I mean can you imagine the monkey wrench that gets thrown into cryptos? And I think that's part of what they want. They want a monkey wrench. They meaning the people who are orchestrating this changeover to something new.
Right. Right. Who Reggie works with. Yeah.
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 But Reggie's the first to say, "Hey, I'm not looking to destroy the cryptocurrency altcoins or
Right.
anything. I'm just looking to get paid for what I invented. And we would
Yep.
have never been in this position. Everybody would have been citing Reggie's patent and worked out a deal with Reggie had it not been for the deep state getting control of him and locking him up and didn't lock him up. They locked him up financially and
Oh
they,
yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
they were going to, I think they were going to lock him up anyway, like put him in jail for as long as they could. They've done it. They did it to Martin Armstrong.
Yep.
But Reggie said, okay, I'll agree to whatever you want to do because you're the government and you got a gun to my head. So but the government didn't do anything with it. Those coins are frozen in a multi-sig wallet, 98 million of the 100 million, that Reggie is one of the signatures.
Right.
So I just think everything's coming down to okay, w- we can see the system about to implode. With the AI spending, I've been doing more research on that. They have to continue to increase the volume at the same velocity or higher, or the whole thing falls apart, which is crazy
Mhm.
because right now it's off the charts. And when and I think that is kind of the tool to kick off the derivative bubble because everybody's using the credit default swaps now when they put a loan to these guys. So the CDSs for Nvidia are going through the roof, the cost to insure it. And that's the derivative market. And that's where you get to
Mhm.
$3 quadrillion worth of derivatives going crazy. So I see the bubbles building. I feel everything is about to blow. I've felt this way for a long time, but this is we can point to the things that will make it blow. I think. Who knows? What do you
Yeah,
think?
man. It's having been calloused by this for so long. I don't really know what to expect anymore, and I'm almost you almost just get to the point of like, whatever, you know. I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Um, you've
I
made
think the
your,
Trump administration doing exactly the opposite of what they did in the first term. Their first, 2016 to 2020 was, oh my God, we can rebuild the industries, we can do all this and we can take back freedom. And now it's like, oh, we're going to war, we're spending all this money, and inflation's going through the roof, and I want to lie about it. It's
I
like,
think it's all a part of the shaking the ant jar. They're
yeah,
shaking the ant jar. So, you know, the whole Trump first term and the beating of Hillary, talk about apathy. I was like at that point, burn it all down. I'm not voting, but I did say if Hillary wins, we're leaving the country. We are straight up
I think
leaving.
everybody
It's
would have.
yeah, but so I secretly wanted her to lose, and then when Trump won, And I initially just saw the knee jerk reaction from the puppet masters, okay, corporations, media, the whole story, if
Oh,
you will,
everybody was against him.
all of a sudden he went from like this beloved Hollywood business mogul
Oh yeah.
guy to like an evil terrorist
Oh
man,
yeah. Oh yeah.
like literally overnight. And that, as a person who was already far removed from it all, like watching it like bread and circus, I'm like, oh wow, these people really don't like him. He was not supposed to win. This is a rugging. And then I watched, what happened, and I think that the world wasn't ready. Like
Well, the
if
deep
there were
state, the deep
good
state wasn't
guys,
ready. The deep state still controlled the media. They controlled. I mean, I was two
but if
strikes.
let's
I was
just
so
say
close
that
to get kicked off.
let's say the good guys had an ability to flip a switch and turn off the fucking internet and shut the media up for a minute and go, well, whatever. Like, let's just say they had the kill switch to make it happen. Humanity wasn't ready. Like,
No.
if Trump would have started arresting, or the Trump administration arresting the Hillarys and Obamas and
Publicly,
what's it
publicly.
publicly, everybody would have had, half the country or whatever would have had a total, meltdown. Oh my God, he's a terrorist. So the world wasn't ready. So then COVID happened, and we've seen this just complete ungluing and unraveling of sanity and chaos.
Mhm.
And I think it's just human. It's the jar being shaken. It's like, all right, ants, you got to get ready for what's coming.
Yeah.
Wake up, So, and the deep staters are out there doing what they do with the psychological manipulation, and the now you've got liberal women in the West who are like, I was talking to a gal friend of mine last night. She's like, yeah, some of my girlfriends, they just hate men. They're just literally, they have just hate for men. I'm like, yeah, this is just the progression of this psychological manipulation, right?
Toxic masculinity. I'm like, what the fuck are
Oh,
you talking about?
oh yeah.
Oh my. So yeah, the conditioning is everywhere. I went on a little rant the other day about liberals because I was talking about all the Africans coming into Spain, and they've already had like 14 uh, in like a week, 14 murder rape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
And this is not a conversation of skin color, or even the geographical location where you're born, or your nationality, or any of that. This is just a conversation about humanity.
yeah,
And some people are animals. They're just animals,
but
and they
also
live
yeah,
like
yeah.
animals, and they do animal shit, and you can see this in Ceuta. You're like, it's
And a lot of it's, where they came from. It was survival or not. You're either going to survive or you're going to not. And then you're getting thrown into Europe, open borders. They're filtering all throughout Europe now. I mean, to me, it might even be a plan to get the wealthy out of Europe to a more safe place because maybe there's a new ice age coming. I don't know, but they're deliberately trying to destroy England. They're trying to destroy all of Europe. They would have been trying to destroy the United States had Trump not shut the border and gone after people with the immigration issue.
mm-hmm.
Anybody who can't say that is an idiot now. Go just look at what's happening in Spain. There's a whole another group of 50,000 coming in now. And it won't end. It won't stop until you do something like Trump did. The border is shut. It is a border. You cannot come across. We're going to shoot you. We're going to shoot you. Don't do it. And we've had almost zero border crossings. And oh, by the way, if you're a illegal alien and you are a bad person with a record of doing bad things, we're going to come get you and deport you.
And you're going to go into CCOT, the famous prison here in El Salvador. That is like,
Yeah.
that's where they send the real bad mofo's, or what did Trump call them? Yeah, it's, I don't know, man. It's insanity. That's one thing I love about here. Another thing, Bukele is like one of us. I mean, he dude, everything he does is, it's for the people. It's from a libertarian, perspective. He cares about the country and the people. And yeah, I think this is a very safe place to be with all this crap that's coming.
I am deep behind enemy lines in California. I love my state. Yeah, it's funny because about 50% of the people I know are like me, and not necessarily like me, but more leaning Republican than Democrat. And I mean, it is literally a fringe, and it's all on the coast. If you look at who voted for who, everything on the coast with the universities and all that voted Democratic. And we have probably the worst governor that's ever been in history right now, Gavin Newsom. Um, he's got deep dark secrets, obviously because of his lineage. I think he's not a DuPont. He's a what are the guys with the Getty?
Vanderbilt or
He's a Getty.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, there's deep dark secrets there. Deep
Yeah,
state
they were
owned all the
That
way.
was California money, right?
Yeah.
DuPont was like southeast or
DuPont
east
was I think DuPont was like
because that's in South Carolina. We have the DuPont family too. I
yeah.
don't. It's the same
It's
DuPont. I don't know.
I think it's Northeast too. I think it's up by Biden.
That makes sense. Yeah,
And
and then Vanderbilt's obviously Tennessee. Tennessee.
Anderson Cooper, what happened to your
Yeah,
brother?
yeah. The Vanderbilt mentions in Tennessee, right?
Uh,
That's the university, Vanderbilt. Where's the mansion? It's in North Carolina. I'm sorry. The Vanderbilt mansion, I believe, is in North Carolina, close to Tennessee. Anyway, yeah,
I was
Tennessee.
just at right across the street from Vanderbilt University, and
In
uh,
Nashville.
we went to Nashville and saw some music. It was awesome. Oh my God, it's like
Nashville's
it's
changed
off the
incredibly.
hook. The music there, these guys are so good, and I feel so bad because I was a singer songwriter in the early days. I feel so bad for a lot of these people are so much better than the people on the radio. But
Uh-huh.
how do you get into that? How
Yep.
do you get the star factor without, selling your soul to the machine? You don't. But they can make a living now with the internet. With they can produce their own records. They don't need to pay for studios anymore. They
Yeah.
can, and I was talking to a guy. I go, how much do these guys get paid for a gig at like one of the like 30 bars? And they're all great. Like a singer songwriter solo guy, how much did he get paid for a gig? And they're like, he didn't get anything. He gets zero. He gets tips, is what he gets, or sometimes a meal and a beer.
Yeah.
But it's like, holy crap! They make their money off tips. They live the best they can, but they love what they do. And then you got AI that can write an exact country song. You just give it some shit, some information. AI can write the perfect country song. And I asked AI to write a song just like Bix Weir would. And I'm like, holy shit, I can play this right now. And it's a great song in
Wow.
my style of writing. And it was like, okay, do we really need singer-songwriters anymore? Because now you can create a fake person to do it. It's just, I don't know.
Well, I think one thing the machines can't mimic is authenticity. And, you
Yet
know, yeah, I don't know. I think there's always going to be that human
yeah,
spark or spice or component, that trust, that authenticity
the
that you're
soul.
always going to know you're
They can't
working
get
with
the soul.
you're always going to know you're dealing with a Terminator versus a
Yeah,
heart and soul,
yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm a kid of the 80s and 90s, dude. But I keep telling these guys, I'm like, did you not see the Terminator movies? What are you people doing? They're going to kill us all.
They even say it. They even
Like,
say these
why do we
guys are
need
even
faster
saying,
computers? Okay. I don't mind taking more time to do the, like, come on, guys. We don't need AI bots for everything
yeah.
because they're going to just kill us all.
The guys who are running this, Sam Altman and Elon and all, they're saying it's 50-50 chance whether it destroys the humanity or not.
Well, I don't know if those guys believe in God, but, one thing I do know about God, the creator, universe, that power, that force, is that force generates and I'm sorry, regulates nature, regulates the
Right.
earth, and does things like volcanoes and floods,
But we could do that
famines,
too
and
now.
things that can wreck a whole thing if that power needs to do that to
Right.
recalibrate things. It's happened before. So if we get too ahead of ourselves with this crap, we might see a meteor coming down. I just don't know. But
I've already
I
seen one.
have a pretty. My buddy said this the other day. God does not like AI. I got it, or God is AI. That could be a whole nother mind blowing
Oh yeah,
experience.
we're
Maybe we've just dug the portal to the divine via AI. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a Southern boy, okay?
We're
But
living in a simulation, as they say.
dude, it certainly feels that way.
Yeah. And
Nah, but
if it's true that our body is more like a vessel, a sack of meat, as Cliff calls it, and we are connected to a spiritual soul who's living this experience in
yeah,
this vessel. And
we're
when we die,
conduits.
the soul's just learned. I learned what I learned, and I'll
Our
move on to do something else.
Yeah, and the body's not just a sack of meat; it's an electrical system of
Oh yeah,
nerves, and dude, it's a whole computer. The
and
body and the
and the
brain.
brain, the brain,
Yeah.
your
So it's
thoughts
like,
are
and
not
the
original.
soul,
No,
which has a
yes.
whole nother connection to source. So yeah, bro, yeah, I mean, humans are very unique. I
Boy, we've gone
potentially
down every rabbit hole this time.
portals of connection from the natural earth to the divine.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Okay,
Hope I
well,
don't screw it up too bad, man.
yeah, I know. Um, Tell people how to get in touch with you and what you can offer them to save their lives.
Oh God, that's heavy. Jeez.
No pressure.
How about just a coconut with some water, some fresh coconut water? It's hydrating. It'll cure a hangover. Maybe not save your life, but no. I do. Well, you can reach me at either unboundassets.com or Club Cocal, COCAL.com. Club Cocal is the real estate company and development company down here in El Salvador, and Unbound Assets is the asset consulting business. We do self-directed IRAs. We help people with their crypto wallets. We do precious metals. Love the shiny white metal and gold. Um, so yeah, if we can help, shoot us a. You can do info at unboundassets.com or at clubcocall.com. The phone number, I'm gonna have to look it up. It's 866, if you want to talk to myself or my lovely friends here, 462-6225. So 833. Sorry, not 866. Gotta pull the VIX. It's an
I know.
833-462-6225. Or it's on the website. Go to the
Hey,
website, social medias. You can
yeah,
track us down.
and
We'd love to chat.
the websites are great. Unbound Assets and Club Cocal. Can you help people who have a lot of gold swap it for silver?
Oh yeah. I can help you if you have a lot of gold or silver or and you want to swap it for any asset. We can help at least get the roadmap going for you and probably offload the metal or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Because I highly recommend, and I have been screaming this for a very long time. The closer we get to that Pierce Zero, I think is the revelation that there's not 220 tons of gold that's ever been mined. It's more like 2 million tons. And that's going to really put a little spike in the heart of silver or of gold holders and a big smile on the silver people who knew all along that there was a lot of gold and very little silver. So definitely you want to do that before any chaos starts.
Yeah, I think the complexity of the reorchestration of this monetary system, this new Bretton Woods, whatever you want to call it, this is not conspiracy talk. It's happened lots of times in history before humans decide to shift to a different type of money for X, Y, and Z reasons. And that's what's
Abuse.
happening.
It's
And
always abuse.
I think you'll see places like El Salvador that has a lightning network and Bitcoin, infrastructure, and boom, you'll have Bitcoin as legal tender. I think you'll see places like the U.S. and it'll do a gold backed or a basket backing. I mean, if they have all this gold hidden, makes
Oh yeah.
sense. They created the Fed. Now we juice the currency, and then we go back to a gold standard and just gold back the new dollar or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And
I think we'll see
you don't have to
variations.
change the laws. And that's the key
I
because
think
I
we'll
don't
see
think,
variations of it.
yeah, you
And I
won't.
also think that our friends here, Bukele, is, he just bought the country's first gold purchase in like 30 years, 50 million, not a huge amount, but it was a gold purchase for the country's treasury. So I got a feeling they're running that infrastructure quietly as we speak as well for a dual monetary standard, right? You can bank your gold with your bank and you can have your Bitcoin.
Yeah. Hey, why not
And
give them a little nudge and say, hey, silver's more valuable than gold. If you want to really do well for your people, and it's a monetary asset, it has been longer than gold. Buy a whole
do
lot of
both,
silver. Had they
do
put
both.
50 million in silver, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just,
or do it now.
We need storage down here. We're a small country, so 50 million in silver would fill up this whole property.
Well, with the government,
But
they can do it.
they can do it. Oh yeah, no,
All
they
right.
could easily do it.
Will Lehr, Unbound Assets, Club Cocal. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we'll check in again as the craziness goes down.
Maybe we do a quick little in-person update from California in a few
Oh
weeks.
yeah,
I don't know. Just
three
throwing it
weeks.
out
Three
there.
weeks. We'll be at the wedding. We'll do that. Yeah,
Don't
we'll
give
go
out dates
by.
or locations, Bix, please.
Ah, they know they're down there.
I'm just kidding.
All right,
All
buddy.
right, everybody. Much love, man. Always
Um,
a pleasure. Give Amy a hug. Road to Rooted
will
friends,
do.
we love you guys. If you're considering El Salvador and you've talked to me about it before, just book that flight. Come on down. Love to
I
have you.
highly recommend it. And he'll make you a coconut right from his own tree.
Bix can attest. He's had the coconuts. He knows.
All right, I'll talk to you later.